But I know I want you to speak to, I'm glad you started speaking to talking about the input list and the prepper and the fact that you have a whole separate rig. And we're going to talk about what's in that rig specifically next. But the fact that you have a rig, because I know, so there's a staple, me and my friends, we laugh about this all the time. I have a couple of friends, we laugh about this. We call it the X32 recording. It's everybody.
I don't know why I'm laughing. But,
but you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
It's the guy, because I've gotten those to mix, and I've had friends that get that stuff to mix, and it's basically like the church got an X32 or M32 or something 32. Allen and Heath 32. They got a 32 something. They got 32 channels, and they can come USB off the board into Pro Tools or into Logic or into whatever DAW that they decide that they want to use at the moment. And now they think we can do a live recording. And so I know you know from all of your decades of experience that it can happen, but those are not the ideal situations, especially to, on the back end. Because I know we all know of records. I can think of a couple right now that I won't say names of, but I know of records that were recorded in that fashion, that they're still, I know of one specifically that's still in post-production 2 years after the fact because of an X32 USB recording. And I know, pretty sure if you got put in a situation like that, you could probably make it work because you know how to record, but that's not the ideal way to do it. So maybe you could speak to that a little bit, to those people that have the X32 at their house, at their church front of house right now, and they think we could do a live recording. Like, what would you say to those people? What is that a bit of advice of, to kind of, in my mind, talk them out of it?
I got you.
What is that? What would you say to those people?
The very first thing I would say is, if that's what you have, and that is your only means of recording, by all means, use it. Mm-hmm. I am all for
use what you got.
Use what you have, and within the means that you have available to you. Yeah. That's far better than not having anything recorded.
Very true.
At all.
Very true.
So if you can't go beyond that, by all means use it. Get your ideas, get what's in your heart, man, get it out there, record it, just do it. Yeah. Like whatever that means.
Yeah.
But equip yourself a little bit, going into it. Like if you can't call somebody to bring in a mobile truck or a live recording rig, pay them that knows where to put microphones and how to properly set microphones, how to deal with phasing issues with a lot of microphones on stage. It's a lot of microphones in a small confined space. And this is a thing that I've realized that a lot of people completely understand that more microphones raised louder does not necessarily mean that it's going to sound better or even louder. Phasing is a very, very big deal, and it requires ears and some knowledge to know how it works and how to hear it even. I was just showing somebody recently, and flipped out of phase, and it makes me want to cringe, and they're like, sounds the same to me. I'm like, really? So
that's the thing.
And whether you hear it or not, it does affect what you have recorded. There's a lot of things that you can record, whether it's on an X32 or it's on the greatest recording system you can get. There's a lot of things that cannot be undone or just fixed in the mix. You can't take something that is over compressed and undo that. You cannot undo dropout, mics dropping out, distortion, for the most part cannot be just erased. So there's a lot of things to consider, but by all means, if that's your only means of doing it,
go
absolutely.
For it. Yeah.
Like but educate yourself. Call us. Call somebody to just come in for a day and
look at it.
Help find the trouble spots. Like at least we'll go into your X32, but let's put things here. let's use this type of mic that will isolate this a little bit better. And even if this is not the most ideal thing that we'd normally use, it'll isolate it, and whatever happens that night, we can fix it later.
Yeah.
So, because, I don't know what is going on with the project it's 2 years in the making, but I have had numerous experiences with people that call and say, hey, we need you to come and do a live recording for us. They'll tell me all about it, and I will put it together, and I will send them the quote. And they're like, oh wow, no thanks. We've got somebody with a console. It's gonna be good, And a lot of those people call me back later and go, hey, we did it. Can you fix it?
And that's my point.
The answer is yes. Yes, we can. What's funny is that they end up spending more money fixing than we would have ever spent like recording it properly in the first place.
And that's my point. The 2 year, that's the reason why is the budget. Like they're having to go back in.
It costs a lot to fix.
And it could have been they could have done a studio record for half the cost. You know what I'm saying, of what they've spent on the live recording itself, and trying to fix what's broken. But that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, it's definitely the ear and the mind, and not the gear. Because like I said, you can make anything work, but you got to know what you're doing with that. What is that? Like, it goes back to what you were saying earlier about putting the mic somewhere and figuring out, what does this mic do? Where does it sound? Where's the phase?
Everybody always has a friend. We can come and it'll save so much money.
It'll save so much money.
But it's there's this saying I posted one time. I can't remember exactly what it's saying, but it man, you can't afford not to hire a professional. Like, you think you can't afford to hire? No, it's like you can't afford not to, because it will cost you. And I'm perfectly willing to fix it after the fact.
Yeah, it's just going to cost
you. Win, but like, let me show you how much you could have spent initially. And so,
it makes total sense.
But that's all right. I mean, I'm always trying to be a resource for anyone, however I can help. And like I said, I'll tell you everything I know. So
much to that,
if you're going to do a live recording and just need some advice, then try to get in touch with us. We'll help you all that we can.
I think you should definitely call Danny.
My goal is that you are just able to do it. So
I mean, like you said, to serve the actual song, serve the music the way it needs to be served, and present it in the way that it needs to be presented. And you need to call a professional that's good at that. No difference than if you were painting your house. Like, you could get up there with you could go spend money on a ladder and get a paint bucket, and then you start slopping stuff on there, and then you get halfway down, and then you realize, oh no, like, I should have actually went on Angie's List, if that's still a thing now, and got somebody, or Thumbtack, or whatever these little things they got now, to hire somebody to actually do the work the right way. And I learned that the hard way in my personal life with different things that I tried to fix around the house and then end up tearing it up. You know what I mean? Mixing is a very, very hard art to master. I know, because I've been trying to master this art for several years. That is one of the reasons why I do Mix Mondays. It's a learning environment, and every mix that I do, I learn something new. And I've taken everything that I've learned over the years, and we have poured it into our mixing templates. Mixing templates are a great starting place, and we have created several templates that allow you to get up and going quickly. And we have created them for Logic Pro X. We have created them for Pro Tools, for Studio One, for Ableton Live, and so many others. So if you're interested in taking your mixing to the next level, or even just getting started, make sure you check out these links down below in the description of this video and grab your template today. All right, back to the show.